Moving on to number 10, it says are lines M and N parallel or lines K and N perpendicular. So you can see the lines are marked with points, and the points allow us to find slopes. And we know parallel slopes are equal to one another, and perpendicular slopes are opposite reciprocals of one another. So if they're asking me questions about parallel or perpendicular lines, and I can find slopes, I'm going to use slopes to do this. So I want to know the slope of M, the slope of N, and the slope of K. That's the first thing I want to do on this problem. And to find slope, I'm just going to, if I do slope of M here, I find 2 points, which again, they're marked here on the problem, obviously. And if I'm going from point 1 to point 2, I'm going to do a rise, which is a vertical change of negative 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going down, so it's negative. I've got a run, which is a horizontal change of positive 3, 1, 2, 3, because I'm going right. Down negative, right positive. So this is a negative 4 rise over a positive 3 run. So negative 4/3 is the slope of M. I'm going to do N in red. Same deal. I look at line N, find 2 points, which again, they're obviously marked here for me. I'm going to do a rise and a run. So from here down, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, down is negative. I'm going right 3 spaces, right's positive, rise over run is negative 4/3. And finally, I'll do line K in green. Line K, I've got, here's point 1, here's point 2. I do my rise, I'm going up, 1, 2, 3, that's positive 3. I'm going right, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's positive 4. So my rise over run there is going to be positive 3/4. So the first question asks me about M and N being parallel to one another. So I'm going to focus just on slopes for M and N, these two slopes. If they're parallel, the slopes should be equal. The slopes are equal, so M is parallel to N. So our lines M and N parallel, I'm going to say M is parallel to N. If they weren't parallel, I would say, again, they might be different on the test. If they weren't parallel, I would have written M is not parallel to N by striking out the parallel sign. But again, this is the right answer, this is not the right answer. Secondly, it asks me if lines N and K and N are perpendicular to one another. So now I'm focusing on slopes for N and K, these two slopes. I want them to be opposite reciprocal to show perpendicular. Negative 4/3, positive 3/4, opposite sign, reciprocal fraction, so opposite reciprocals, yes. So I know that N is perpendicular to K. Again, this is the right answer. If they weren't perpendicular, I'd write N is not perpendicular to K by doing that with a stripe through the perpendicular symbol. Again, this is the wrong answer because they are perpendicular, because the slopes are opposite reciprocals. So just know that relationship, the parallel relationship, they should be the same. The perpendicular relationship, opposite reciprocals. If it asks me if M and N are perpendicular, the answer is no, they aren't. Because they aren't, they're parallel. So if K and N are parallel, no, they're perpendicular. So again, whatever they're asking you to do, find the slopes, use the slopes to make your decisions. Number 11, write the equation of the line that's parallel to y equals negative 3x plus 2 that passes through the point 3, negative 2. So it's parallel to this line. The only thing I need from that line is the slope. And just like we've done before on these problems, the slope is the number in front of x. So that equation is only purpose to let me know that the slope of the line I'm looking for is negative 3. Once I get this written down, I'm going to strike that out because nothing else in that equation is of any help to me. The other piece of information need is the point that the line I'm looking for is passing through, and it says it passes through the point 3, negative 2. So get the slope from here. It says parallel. Parallel lines have the same slope. Slope is negative 3, slope is negative 3. Then identify the point. Go to y equals mx plus b, because every line fits that model. M is negative 3, that goes here. X is 3, that goes here. And y is negative 2, that goes here. So substitute all three values in. Negative 2 equals negative 3 times 3 plus b. So negative 2 equals negative 9 plus b. Negative times positive makes a negative. 9 moves over, negative 9 moves, becomes positive 9. Negative 2 plus 9 is 7. Subtraction because the signs are different. Positive because 9 is bigger. 7 equals b. The correct answer, we're going to replace m with what m is and replace b with what b is. signs matter here. M is negative, B is positive, so y equals negative 3x plus 7. Slope is negative, y-intercept is positive. If y-intercept's negative 7, I'm going to write minus 7. So whatever sign you get, just attach a plus or minus sign that matches what the sign of that is. Number 12, same basic idea, but this time it says perpendicular to, and it does have the same exact equation here, it doesn't matter. The slope of that equation is still negative 3. So the slope is negative 3. I don't need that anymore. And that's all I'm getting from the equation is the slope, the number in front of x. I want a perpendicular line this time, so I need to make the perpendicular slope, which again is just the opposite signed reciprocal. The reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. The opposite of negative is positive. So positive 1/3 is the perpendicular slope. Once I have the perpendicular slope, I'm going to throw this original slope out. This comes to here, I make this, throw that out, throw that out. And now I've got a slope of 1/3, I've got a y-intercept, I've got a point that it passes through of 3, negative 2, and I want to find the y-intercept to get my answer. So this is m, this is x, this is y, and again we're looking for a line. Y equals mx plus b is the structure of a line every time. Y is negative 2, m is positive 1/3, x is positive 3, and b is what we're looking for. Negative 1/3 times 3 makes 1. And if 1 plus b is equal to negative 2, I'm going to move my 1 over. Positive 1 becomes negative 1. These are the same sign, so I add 2's bigger, so it's negative. So b is equal to negative 3 in this instance. So a slope of 1/3 and a y-intercept of negative 3 is the slope and y-intercept of the perpendicular line. So I write my answer, y equals 1/3 x minus 3. Slope goes in front of x, y-intercept goes after x. Y equals is part of the answer in both of these problems. A lot of people at this juncture, writing equations, a lot of times people forget to write the y equals. If you write just this without that, you're not right. So make sure y equals shows up on both of these answers. Your answer should look like that for both problems. The one last thing that might happen, if this product happens to be a fraction, this one actually reduced out because 3 divided by 3 made 1, so 1 times 1 is 1. If that doesn't happen, this is a fraction, you need to get a common denominator for this piece to be able to add or subtract over here. So make sure if that happens to come out to a fraction, which happens sometimes, make sure that becomes a fraction also with the same denominator.